Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 1027, during which we'll hear from and about folks along the eastern seaboard, including New Jersey, North Carolina, Rhode Island, and our home state of Massachusetts. Let's start there with this audio postcard from a member of our Talkin' Birds team.
Hi, it's Debbie Bleacher in Sudbury, Massachusetts. I'm watching a pine warbler at my suet feeder. She's pale yellow on her head, chest, and back, and she's got 2 white wing bars. I've seen the male over the last few days, too. He's got more yellow. Both of them have a partial pale eye ring and a notched tail. According to eBird, pine warblers are rare here at this time of year, but I always do Project Feeder Watch, so I know a couple of pine warblers always overwinter in my neighborhood. Yay for community science. Oops, there she goes. Bye.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes, yay for community science. She's doing that Project Feeder Watch there in the backyard. And speaking of backyard birds, here's a question that comes up from time to time. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention about the audio postcard, and we'd like to invite you to send one. Just grab a smartphone or other similar device and record what you're seeing or hearing. Get that little file and just send it to ray@talkingbirds.com. So in the backyard, a question that comes up from time to time, is it okay to feed birds? I know some folks around here would certainly answer that in the affirmative, but what does Dr. Charles Clarkson, Director of Avian Research at Audubon, Rhode Island, think about this? Well, in an email blast, he says, the benefits of feeding birds outweigh any negatives in the vast majority of cases. And he points to studies showing that feeders can increase survival in migrating and overwintering birds, also that feeding birds may make them healthier. And as we've learned from several guests here on the show, feeding birds is good for the mental health of the people who feed them. And Dr. Clarkson adds these points. If you have house cats, keep them inside. Clean your feeders regularly and provide native foods as well. Thoughts about feeding birds from Audubon, Rhode Island's Dr. Charles Clarkson. This is not our mystery bird contest, even though that is our mystery bird. It is instead a preview of our contest. Here are some clues, and then we'll describe the prizes. Our mystery bird is a small, stocky raptor, just a bit larger than an American kestrel, with long pointed wings, a long banded tail, and a faint mustache mark, with streaking on the chest and belly. Plumage color varies greatly, with males in the east displaying blue-gray upper parts, while in the Pacific race, the male is a much darker blue-gray with more heavily streaked underparts. Females of all races are larger and browner. Our bird winters over most of the U.S. and down into Mexico and the Caribbean, and breeds all across Canada, Alaska, the upper Midwestern states, and northern New England. Small birds make up the majority of the mystery bird's diet. We'll also eat rodents, bats, reptiles, and large insects like dragonflies. That's our mystery bird. The contest coming along a little bit later. Wanted to get you ready for it to call in when we kind of give the official signal a little later. Here's a salute to another wonderful Talking Birds ambassador helping us get the word out about birds and conservation, which is what we're trying to do around here. And thank you to Jackie from Pennsville Township, New Jersey. Thank you so much, Jackie, for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. And here's another ambassador explaining why she became one.
My name is Kira Thoreau Bartow, she, her pronouns, and I'm from Durham, North Carolina. So I became an ambassador because I think it's a really simple way to spread the love of birds to people around me. And it's such a great show to be able to get more people listening and involved and learn about birds.
Thank you, Kira. Beautifully said. Easy, simple way to spread the word about birds and about conservation as well. Thank you, Kira. To become an ambassador, it is, as we say here in Boston area, wicked easy. Just go to talkingbirds.com, click on that kind of all-purpose Get Involved tab up at the top of the page, and you'll see how to do it. And it really is easy to join and to be a Talking Birds ambassador. Still to come today, we'll learn about the biggest week in American birding with special guest Tyler Ficker. Also today, Mike O'Connor will join us for a Let's Ask Mike segment, almost live from the archive, in which he'll explain something called Fright molt. And up next, a bird that's bringing a sign of spring to much of the U.S. and Canada is this week's featured feathered friend. Back in the 1950s, the great ornithologist Arthur Cleveland Bent described a flock of about 15 adult male red-winged blackbirds arising from a field and circling about, wheeling, as he put it, with better precision than the best of trained soldiers, their jet-black uniforms and scarlet epaulets flashing in the sunlight as they turned. All their movements seemed to be governed by the same impulse, instantly obeyed, as they swooped down upon a small apple tree and alighted with every head pointing toward the wind. Red-winged blackbirds are stocky songbirds with slender, conical bills. Breeding males have all black bodies with red shoulder patches, partly bordered in yellow. Females are brown and heavily streaked with a bit of soft yellow plumage around the bill. All across the northern U.S., from parts of Washington state and east through Minnesota and Michigan and Maine, the red-winged blackbird is a genuine harbinger of spring, with many individuals continuing on to breeding territory up as far as northwest Canada and Alaska, after wintering through much of the U.S. and Mexico. According to the Cornell Lab, the red-winged blackbird is a highly polygynous species, meaning that males typically have a lot of female mates, as many as 15. On the other hand, the lab says that 1/4 to 1/2 of nestlings have been sired by a bird other than the territorial male. By the way, thanks to Candy and Chris Powell for leading your humble host on a little bird excursion this past week in beautiful Jamestown, Rhode Island, in Narragansett Bay. We saw lots of cool birds and heard a red-winged blackbird. Agileus phoeniceus, the red-winged blackbird, today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend. Welcome again to our show number 1027. Well, coming in May 9th through 18th to be exact, it's the biggest week in American birding. It's billed as 10 fabulous days of birding in Northwest Ohio, the warbler capital of the world. And to tell us more about it is Tyler Ficker. He's the communications director at Black Swamp Bird Observatory, the presenter of the festival, and the coordinator of the biggest week in American birding. Good morning, Tyler.
Morning. Welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Thanks for being part of the show here and for that wonderful thing you're doing there. I should start off, by the way, Tyler, with folks who aren't familiar with that area, Northwest Ohio. And for those folks, tell us, what's this warbler capital of the world thing all about?
Yeah, so the Northwest Ohio region is not only a fantastic conservation success story in terms of how much wetland and forest habitat has been restored as farmers are selling off their land and different organizations are buying it and restoring it, but it's a very crucial place as a lot of these neotropical migrants are heading north to their breeding grounds, and they come across that treacherous flight across the Gulf of Mexico, and then as they head further north, they reach the Great Lakes region and think that they want to stop for a few days, fuel up again because they don't want to cross another body of water again without rising up. And so we are the perfect haven for shorebirds, waterfowl, warblers, you name it.
I believe the festival, as it said, has been going for 15 years now, and
Yeah.
lots of folks I know go to the festival every year, and from all over, I'm sure, all over North America, and no doubt beyond that, because it is that special an event. For folks who have never been to the festival before, though, give them an idea what to expect.
Yeah, so the name Biggest Week refers not only to the length of the festival being longer than a week, but it is just the biggest gathering of birders in North America. So I think of it as the greatest celebration of birding, the greatest spectacle of bird migration. It's all around, like there's so much for anyone who's coming, whether it's just to go out and enjoy the birds or to participate in any of the field trips or the presentations that we have to offer, the workshops, anything. So we have a bunch of different ways, no matter what level of birder you are, if you're new to birding, no matter what, there's going to be something for everyone, all wrapped up in one area that just boasts incredible spring migration birding.
Tell us about the McGee Marsh phenomenon.
Yes. So McGee Marsh is the most famous site that is in our region, and rightfully so. It's a large, expansive marsh that's managed by the Ohio Division of Wildlife. It's a public land, and it's all open marsh. And right along the north shore of the park, right on the lakefront, is this cottonwood buttonbush forest with a mile-long boardwalk running through the middle of it. And the warblers are hitting it right at the time of year where it's great for the food sources, the insects that they're looking for, and they're so focused on feeding. This boardwalk gets you right out into this marshy habitat, and all these warblers are down right at eye level all around you, completely immersing you in spring migration.
Just pretty amazing. So there's so many field trips that folks can choose from, their van trips and trips by the lake, on the river, and so many amazing places, and even Toledo metro parks that are really something. And then workshops, I think you alluded to, and speakers. Tell us about some of your keynote speakers.
Yes, so we have a very exciting keynote speaker lineup. We have Ken Kaufman coming to give a presentation as he does for us almost every year. We're very grateful to him. We have Lillian Stokes and Matthew Young on their new Finch book. Amar Ayash talking about his new Gull book. We have Snowy Owl research in the Arctic. We have Kimberly Kaufman is giving a 15 years history of the Biggest Week in American Birding, kind of talking about how the festival's gotten to the point it is, the impact that it's had both locally and globally, and then what are some of our goals for the future.
And true or false, there's going to be a banquet.
Yes, that is true. We are having a birders banquet this year it'll be the middle of the festival, and that's going to be Ken and Kimberly's keynote presentation will be during that banquet. And for anyone who's in attendance of that, we have some very exciting news that we are waiting to reveal at that banquet about the future of the vision for Black Swamp in the Biggest Week.
All right. Got to be there to hear about it.
You'll be the first to know.
Exactly. So we got to get a pretty early start this year in terms of talking about the festival starting on May 9th, but I know that registration is already open.
Yes, registration is open.
Perfect time to do it. And I was also looking at the list of lodging and accommodations. I think you have something like 32 hotels and cottages listed there, and campgrounds too, right?
Yes, that's right. So because of the impact that this festival has had, and the area has really realized how much of a market there is for birders wanting to come visit the area, we've partnered with a lot of different cities and towns nearby to promote some of their hotels they join our Black Swan Bird Observatory's Birds and Business Alliance. And as a result, we promote them on the Biggest Week Festival. So some of the towns to the west, to the east, and to the south of us all have great lodging accommodations available.
Wonderful. So here's the important thing about how folks can register. We can give the website there. It's biggestweekinamericanbirding.com. I'm sure you can just go to Biggest Week in American Birding and search it that way. Anything else people should know about registering?
I guess the main thing would be that we have so many exciting presentations that we there's not enough time to even go through everything, whether it's art workshops, new accessible field trips. We've added an accessible outing for everyone every day of the festival, and we're very proud of that accomplishment this year, being able to offer 10 days of that. So please visit our website and just learn more about everything we have to offer, because it's truly amazing what can all fit into the biggest week.
We've learned a little bit about you as well that I wanted to ask you about, Tyler, and that is the fact that you have attended the biggest week every year, starting when you were in the 5th grade, and you've attended in, I guess, one capacity or another ever since, right?
Yes, I attended the second biggest week when I was in 5th grade, and I came back every year. It was the highlight of my year. It ended up getting to the point where through high school, I missed my senior prom because it conflicted with biggest week, and I would have much rather been up at the lake birding, and then ended up leading field trips, becoming the field trip coordinator, and this will be my first year as the festival coordinator.
Wow. So when you were in the 5th grade, did you ever imagine that you would someday be in this coordinator role?
Absolutely not. And I will say, being in this role and the amount of times I've been able to tell this story, it still is surreal. And I'm still so proud to be involved in the festival and hope that other people can have the same experiences that I had.
Mm-hmm. The biggest week in American birding, May 9th through the 18th. The website is biggestweekinamericanbirding.com, or just do a search for Biggest Week. You'll find it very easily. Tyler, thank you so much for telling us all about this year's festival. I know it'll be great, and good luck, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy birding.
That's Tyler Ficker here on Talking Birds. And up next, it's our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute.
The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com.
Right before we get to the Mystery Bird Contest, this word about Hog Island Audubon Camp, which has welcomed nature enthusiasts to its shores since 1936. Today, the island hosts programs for adults, teens, and families taught by the world's leading naturalists, ornithologists, and artists. New sessions for the 2025 camp season include mindfulness in birding and Let's Go Birding Together. For the full schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogislandaudubon.org. I left a dot out. I'm going to get that right. It's hogisland.audubon.org. We're back to the Mystery Bird Contest here. That would be the bird. That would also be the bird. It's a small, stocky raptor, just a bit larger than an American kestrel. Long pointed wings, a long banded tail, a faint mustache mark streaking on the chest and belly. Plumage varies depending on what part of the North American continent this bird is located. Males are darker blue-gray out in the west. Our bird winters over most of the U.S. and down into Mexico and the Caribbean, and breeds all across Canada, Alaska, the upper Midwestern states, and northern New England. Small birds make up the majority of the mystery bird's diet. It will also eat rodents and bats and reptiles and large insects like dragonflies. That's our mystery bird. What do you think it is? Tell us, and win some of those fabulous prizes that we have, including the broom.
Mega 600 feeder.
That's right. That's the big one with an extra large tube that holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed. Easy to clean and chew-proof. It includes the broom seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry. Plus, birding is a wildlife, so You shouldn't have to sacrifice style for comfort when out in the field. That's why we're happy to offer a $25 certificate for Bird Collective, your one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories, all featuring birds. That's the beautiful prize on our Mystery Bird Contest. To take part, give us a call. If you're listening live, you can do it. Our live show, by the way, Sunday mornings, 9:30 Eastern. 781-837-4900 is the number to call as soon as you possibly can with your guess or definitive answer. Here's that number again, 781-837-4900. Up next, almost live from the archive, Let's Ask Mike in just 1 minute.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year, illegally. Poaching is just one of the risks animals face at our hands. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor. I grew up in the beautiful rural countryside of Ohio, where animals roamed freely in the open forests. I have a deep concern to help preserve those open spaces for our wildlife friends so they can live and thrive like they used to. Destruction of their habitats threaten their very existence. The best way to protect wildlife is to protect the land where they live. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats, and establish permanent sanctuaries. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE. Or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Cape Cod is the location, Orleans to be specific. It's the famous Birdwatchers General Store. Mike O'Connor is there, and he's here as well with a story about stickers and a tale about tails. I think that's yeah. Good morning.
Tale about tails, yeah. Right? Yeah. Begin before we talk about the tale about the tails. I wanted to mention last week, a couple of weeks ago, I did a show about just down the street from us. A pair of bald eagles had taken up residence in an osprey nest, and we're interested to see what that is. But a few days later, Mary Reed showed up. Mary Reed is a big fan of the show, and she has this wonderful business called Fat Bird Designs, and she makes these stickers that we sell. But she had heard the show, and she listened to the show, and she said, I want to go see the eagles. So we gave her directions, and then later that day, my son Casey and a friend went to see the eagles, and there was Mary and her friend. But she makes these great stickers. You should check them out, Fat Bird Designs.
She and Mom both listening to the show. That's we know that.
I know. Yeah. Here's the other thing I wanted to mention. Sometimes you look out on your feeder, and you see a bird, and its tail is missing, and it looks like a little bobby bird because the tail's gone. And we used to think, well, something happened to the tail. Usually a predator, you would think, grabbed the bird and pulled the tail off. And it turns out that is true, but it's not as dramatic as it sounds. It seems the birds have ability to release their feathers when they're being attacked by a predator. It's a term I wasn't even familiar with. It's called a Fright molt, where the birds can actually release their feathers. Because when you think about it, birds' feathers have to be held on really tightly, or they'd blow off when the bird's flying, or if the wind came up, they'd blow off like, David Clapp's toupee does on a windy day. Well, the birds hold these on really, they don't lose their feathers on the storm or whatever. But if they're being grabbed or attacked by a predator, they have the ability to release them and get away safely. So that's why you see birds sometimes out at your feeder with their tail missing. So the next question I was wondering is, okay, do the birds have to wait for their molting season? Because birds replace their feathers usually once a year, sometimes twice a year. Do they have to wait that long to be without a tail? Because tails are important to birds. So I checked in with your friend Stephanie at Wildcare, Stephanie Ellis, and she confirmed, no. If the birds give up their tails to escape danger or lose them any other way, their tails or other feathers, if there's no damage, that will immediately start growing back. And in a few weeks, the birds will be good as new, flashing their tails and looking a little bit less like a bobcat. You still there, Ray?
Oh, I was distracted because David's toupee just flew by behind her to the Talking Birds garden, and I just got distracted. Anyway, thank you so much for all that, and thank you, Mary Reed.
Yeah, she's a great sticker. Okay, talk to you next week.
All right, Mike O'Connor down there at the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod. That's the mystery bird. Solve that mystery by giving us a call here and win some beautiful prizes, including that $25 Bird Collective gift certificate and the Bro Mega 600 feeder that holds 2 pounds. Well, make that 2.5 pounds of seed, and also has that wonderful Brome seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry. Here's that phone number at 781-837-4900. Here is it again, a little slower. 781-837-4900. A small, stocky raptor, just a bit larger than an American kestrel. That's a pretty good hint, I think, right there. Long pointed wings, a long banded tail, faint mustache mark streaking on the chest and belly. Plumage varies between east and western birds. So what is that bird? 781-837-4900 is the number to call, and we're going to see who we're going to clear through here in just a couple of seconds from right now. Just a reminder, by the way, about our Mystery Bird contest. And that is, of course, you need to be listening live in order to take part, to get the timing right. So our show is live on Sunday mornings, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. That's in the morning on Sunday. That's how you can listen live. And to do it, just go to our website, talkingbirds.com, click on the Listen tab, and you'll see the whole explanation there, how to do it. Very, very easy to do. And now we'll go to our call. We have Rich in Middleborough, Massachusetts. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Rich. You heard all those clues, maybe, and the sound of the bird and all of that. What do you come up with there?
I'm going to go with the wizard, the Merlin.
The wizard. The Merlin is absolutely right. Yes. The Merlin. Here's something interesting about a Merlin, that it does not build a nest. I guess that's true of other raptors. Instead, it takes over old nests of other hawks or crows. It's said to sometimes nest on the top of domed magpie nests rather than inside the nest cavity. I guess it works for them, and that is the thing on the Merlin. Let's see. Rich, I think we have time for a bonus question if you would be interested, and we have a beautiful feather-friendly kit. If you have this one right, to protect your windows from bird crashes, what do you think? Want to try it?
Sure, why not?
This is kind of a nature question, not really a bird question. What do the following wild plants have in common? Water chestnut, fanwort, and bittersweet. It's multiple choice. A, they are excellent natural ground covers for your yard. B, they are among the many invasive species that clog our rivers and streams. Or C, they're great additions to your favorite salad.
Yuck.
Yeah, that couldn't be it. It's one of those. What do you think, Rich, or what do you say?
Go with bittersweet.
Oh, bittersweet? Okay, that
B.
wasn't. Yeah.
B.
Oh, B would be that they're an invasive species is what you're. Yes, that's exactly right. We're kind of doing that question belatedly in belated honor of National Invasive Species Awareness Week, which is the last week in February. Invasive species really cause all kinds of trouble.
It's really rampant everywhere we go for a hike. We see it, in the sides of the trails.
Yeah. Always good to encourage your garden store to make sure they carry native plants too. If you can do that, it's a great idea. Rich,
and, firebush as well.
Firebush is another one, and lots of others too. We should talk about that on another show soon. Rich, stand by, and we'll get your info and send you those prizes.
All right, thank you.
All right, Rich, correctly identifying the Merlin. The wizard is our mystery bird. We are out of time. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.